Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. I just wanted to come in and talk for just a little bit because it's been like a month. Apparently, I looked from the last time. I'm not on here regularly, um, especially through the Christmas holidays, etc. So, but today I just wanted to talk about what it is to be aware. I hate the awakening word because it's been, or woke or whatever, because it's been demolished, as misused, as with a lot of our language, to manipulate. But to be aware, um, I don't think this will reach many people, but I'm just going to say it for posterity's sake, which is what I always do. Um, I'm Gen X, and many of us grew up in the system, and this is a system that we blindly accept, um, that has been altered over time, has been, a lot of parts have been hidden over time, and I have been doing research for a very long time on multiple subjects. What do they say it? OGs. I'm probably one of the originals, but you would never know me because I was never really out there. I was more of an observer. And then the few times I did try and scream and holler and carry on because out of pure frustration, most of my things were banned or shadow banned, probably just like this channel is, etc. But I wasn't out here to make money or whatever. I'm out here just to speak my piece, as they say. And just therapeutically say what I have to say as much as possible. As you go down this road and you look into things, and there are plenty of rabbit holes to go down, some of them are worthless, but a lot of them are worth your time. It gets very difficult to function in this world when you know differently. And I've spent decades doing that. I've been surrounded by people, but very alone in my head. I was pretty much labeled when I was younger as a problem because I was the oldest. I spoke up. I said what was wrong. I tried to protect my siblings that were younger, and it cost me because I ended up being the problem, and the problem never ended up being solved. And here we are, what, almost 50 years later, facing the same things. Whether it be personally within your extended family or the world, doesn't matter. But once they label you as a problem, people tend not to listen to you. So when, because I was diagnosed with post-traumatic stress disorder, I nearly lost my children in a car accident, which was the worst and the best thing that ever happened to me, ironically. Because my son had an NDE, and it was God's message to me that I'm here, I'm real, and I'm listening to you. It's a real kick in the teeth when you have several degrees and it's not the right degree for whatever expert that they say that you need to listen to. But my degrees lend themselves towards being pretty good at doing research and reading and comprehending what is being written and researching further if you don't understand until you can grasp and understand it completely. We have been misled, lied to. I'd like to put it as simply as, whatever they say, the opposite is probably true. That probably works at least half the time. But a lot of times there's really key elements that are missing that you also need to know. So this whole chaotic mind, F-U-C-K, is on purpose. And it's very hard to explain to people without it sounding like you're crazy, because it's outside the programming. It's outside the box that they put us in. We are nothing but glorified slaves. And it's a hard one to swallow, to understand. We don't have the chains and shackles anymore, or fences, or whatever, but except in the jail system, which is a profitable system for them. But we are still enslaved, bound by the laws and the things that they put on us that are completely unfair, also known as red tape or whatever. When it seems like not the brightest get to the top, it's true, because they are more easily controlled and manipulated and more likely to follow. So people like me are not really, ideal for this system. And people like me pay dearly, emotionally, financially, whatever. You're never going to get ahead. Not in this system. Not the way it's been. So for those who are struggling, trying to understand what is going on, if you really want to know, I can maybe send you articles or videos or whatever, or my opinion, because my opinions are my opinions. I'm never going to say something is definitely fact, hence why I didn't get into science, because those MNFers, they just thought that everything they said was a fact, when, if they would truly treat science like it should have been handled, they would know that nothing quite is fact. It's only fact until you find the next bit of information that would change that. We are very limited in what we see and what we hear, feel, taste, and touch. We are human. There is other parts out there that we can't grasp with our senses because we are limited. But because we can't see, taste, touch, hear, or feel those things, people think that they don't exist. And that is something that's been instilled in us, even though, we know that sound waves exist, even though we can't see them. We know elephants can communicate 10 miles apart, even though we can't hear their communication, the vibration. It's a low frequency. There are colors that exist that we cannot see. We are limited in the light spectrum because of our eyes. But one thing that was told to me in college, and my minor was philosophy. It would have been my major, but what do you do with I was one class short of a major, and double major. But what do you do with that? Nobody wants thinkers, critical thinkers, real thinkers. And even in that system, it's still limited on what those professors teach. But there was one thing a professor told me, Dr. Harmon, who's probably no longer here, I'm sure, is that there is small r reality, which is what we can perceive, and then there's big R reality, what actually exists. And a lot of the bigger people out there, you know, those mysterious people of who we think is controlling the world, what is actually going on, they have a better grasp of the big R reality, and that's how they're able to control things more easily. We are programmed to believe the big R reality does not exist, and therefore we're more easily controlled. And that's pretty much how it works out. That's without even bringing spirituality into it. But that's definitely a part of it. Just know that you're not crazy. And if you need to ask questions, if I have answers or a place I can send you to, I will. If I don't, I'm honest and I will tell you I don't know. But this is very hard, and I see people who are struggling with this, and I've been at this for a very long time, and the one thing that has finally held me together is faith. And I also found a golden egg at the end of one of the rabbit holes called the Little Season. I think there's some validity to this, and I'm fixing to jump down the rabbit hole of the insane asylums that they had back in the late 1800s and early 1900s. Eventually they closed all those down, and those magnificent buildings. I don't think anybody would have built buildings like that for insane asylums, but there is documentation of what these patients were saying. And there was a time before now that I think none of us know about that really existed, but they called them crazy. I don't know. But I'm going to jump down that rabbit hole. There's always one to go down. All I know is that we really have not been told the truth. And I hope that all of you can handle the truth, and, you know, as it comes in little bits and pieces, and hold on. No, it's not fair. It's upending. It kind of messes with you. But the one thing that has kept me here, barely, because I've had my ups and downs, is my faith in my beliefs and my spirituality. It's the only reason I'm sitting here today is because of God and Jesus Christ. Honestly. That's it. So just know that there are others out there that have been at it a very, very long time. Many of us who knew something was wrong, even in our childhood. So hang in there, and try and not get off center, and go easy on yourself, and know that I don't know why, but I'm driven to find the truth, whatever the truth may be. And I think it's much better than the system we're in now. So hang in there, and love to you all, and bye for now.